Hello again and welcome once more to Ipswich High School trombone course, how to play the trombone. You'll need worksheet 3 today, worksheet 3, and you'll need a trombone. But before I introduce you to the trombone, let's just spend a minute or two playing a couple of notes on the mouthpiece. You probably haven't done this, but it's what professionals do. They get their mouthpiece out and they just gradually warm up. Use your tongue, but or don't use your tongue, it's up to you, but whatever you do, make your lips buzz. And you can play little tunes on your mouthpiece. You could try and do that. Mrs. Jennings wanted me to go over once again how to put the trombone together. Now, I have loaned my plastic red trombone to somebody, so I am in the position where I'm going to use my brass trombone, but it's the same thing. You get your right hand, that's the one on the right, and you hold it with the longer bit. If it's a brass trombone, the longer bit. If it's a plastic trombone, it's the black bit, and you then put the mouthpiece in the second one like that. You take your bell section, we call it the bell section, that's the bell, and you take the bell section and you place it on the long bit of the slide section and you wiggle it a few times like that. It should be so that the slidey bit is in your right hand and the stationary bit is on the left. And then you do up whatever catch you've got. It depends on the model of the trombone, how it is. But you should end up with, if I can just show you this, roughly 90 degrees between that bit there and that bit there. I hope all this makes sense. If you've done it before, then you'll probably know what I'm talking about. If you haven't done it before, you may need to go back to the beginning of the video and just play it through again. Right, we're going to start off with the reminder scale at the top of the page. If I can just show you the worksheet, there's 2 of them there, I only need 1. This reminder here, we're going to do that reminder. Okay, so here we go. First note, 6th position, 4th position, 3rd position, 1st position. Now it starts to get tricky. 2nd position, and the very top note. Okay, while I'm just taking a breather, I'm going to just re-emphasize the importance of a good posture. I have seen pupils who keep their elbows tucked in. Not so much, it doesn't matter so much the right hand one, it's the left hand one. I've seen people leaning on their left hand one, and then the trombone collapses because it's quite heavy, and then they have to put their head over and they end up playing like this. Now, if you are in any way not playing upright, could I just encourage you to move your elbow out a little bit so that both elbows are about 6 inches away from your torso, the middle bit of your body, and then your trombone should be like that, upright, and your head should be completely perpendicular like a lamppost. Just spend a moment or two checking your posture. It's very, very important, especially for beginners or people in the early stages of learning, because bad habits develop quickly. So, we've done the scale. Now we're going to look at exercise 1. Now, exercise 1 is rather like move that slide, watch it glide, because you're going to move from first position to fourth position, and in this case on exercise 1 you move it to second position. So this is exercise 1. And there's a couple of things that are important. First of all, take a deep breath through your corners of your mouth. Don't sniff through your nose. Before you start, take a deep breath through the corners of your mouth. And secondly, you might need to take a breath somewhere in that piece. I took a breath after 2 bars, after 8 notes. You might need to take a breath before then, or you might find you can last till the end. Talking about breathing, I heard somebody on the radio this week talking about the importance of breathing through your nose generally, because people are more and more breathing through their mouth, and their nose is losing its what it's designed to do, which is filter out germs. So that's a really good reason at the moment, particularly, to breathe through your nose, but not when you're playing the trombone. When you're playing the trombone, breathe through your mouth. I'm going to do exercise 1 one more time. Okay, so we've learned buzzing through the mouthpiece, how to put the trombone together, good posture. We've learned to play the reminder scale at the top of the page using 1, 6, 4, 3, 1 position, and we've played exercise 1. This would be a really good point to turn off the video for a moment, pause it, and practice the reminder scale and exercise 1 before we move on to exercise 2. So press pause and have a little rest. Good, so hopefully you've pressed pause, you've had a little rest. I'm going to move on to exercise 2, and you'll notice occasionally there's a number to remind you. You should be able to recognize by now which position to play a note in. In this case, the 4th space up is 4th position. And we'll try that again. Ready? And. And again, I'm going to ask you to pause the video while you have a little rest and practice exercise 2, and then we'll have a go at the final piece on the worksheet, which is called Blowing in the Wind. So press pause, have a little rest now. And welcome back. We're going to carry on with a song called Blowing in the Wind. There are no position numbers on this piece, so you're going to have to try hard to work it out. I'm going to play you as far as the end of the first time bracket. If you can't remember what these mean, where there's a 1 with a bracket with a 1 on it, the first time you play the piece you play the notes in that bracket, and the second time you play it you ignore the notes in the 1 bracket and you go straight to the 2 bracket. So I'm going to play as far as the end of the 1 bracket. And then the 2 dots, which you should have remembered from the last week's lesson, mean that you repeat it. Good. If you managed to play that with me, that was excellent. I'm going to do it again, but this time I'm going to ignore the notes in the first time bracket because it's the second time I'm playing it. And in case you're lost, I'm now on bar 11. On bar 11 there's a long note joined to a short note. There it is. So that's what, whoops, that's where I've got to. And then we're going to carry on from the where it says F. And if you remember your music theory, or if you've done music on another instrument, you should remember that F stands for, well, it's really, we call it loud, but it's strong. It's strong, really. It's short for the word forte, which means strong. I remember going to a shop in Italy where they sold sausage, and they had a forte sausage, and that didn't mean it was a loud sausage, it meant it was a strong sausage. Good. So we're going from forte, which means strong. There we go. And you might have heard one or two gasps coming from me because I was breathing through my mouth and making quite a noise, but only at certain places. You'll see that there are a number of ticks on that piece blowing in the wind, and try to breathe where the ticks are. Okay, so I'm going to play the first line again, and maybe you'd like to join in. Here we go. And then there are two notes at the end of the first time bracket which lead us back. And the last little bit, the last 1, 2, 3, 4 bars on one beat. That's from the tick in the middle of the bottom line to the end of the bottom line. Here we go. And the last but one note is the note that we had for the first time last week, the new note. You should remember it's A, it's in second position. Well, if you've played through the whole of this sheet today, you've done incredibly well. I'm wondering whether anybody has managed to play Ode to Joy, or if anybody... No, they have played Ode to Joy, it was Abigail, but I wonder if anybody has managed to finish a poem, Move That Slide, Watch It Glide, or has recorded Song of the Vulgar Boatman from Mrs. Jennings. I await the result with trepidation. Goodbye.